it's Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, September 18th. So we had the moon in Libra for the last couple of days. We've seen that moon in Libra go void, of course, late last evening. And of course, we are shifting into and locking into Scorpio energy in the wee hours of the day. Now, there are 6 different aspects here today. 5 of them going to involve the moon in Scorpio. What do we get with the moon in Scorpio? Well, we go deep into the emotional realm. We dabble in the darkness. We move into the shadow. We have our detective hats on. We are looking for answers. We are flipping rocks over. We are unearthing little bits of our unconscious selves, bringing it a light, bringing it to the surface of our awareness, and doing something about it. Of course, Scorpio energy is very intense, very passionate, and very, I'm going to say, in the mood to get to the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the truth, so to speak. Our intuition is a lot higher. We are picking up on subtle energies. We are very observant. We are just kind of taking a step back and taking a good look at reading between the lines, so to speak. So there's going to be a lot of emotional transformation over the next couple of days, as there always is with the moon in Scorpio energy. The very first aspect that we have here today, though, is the only aspect that doesn't involve the moon, and it's the sun. The sun is actually interacting with the North Node in Aries, and of course the sun very much still in Virgo energy. We are wrapping up the last week of Virgo season here, so we are in cleanup mode, fixing mode, problem-solving mode, and with the moon in Scorpio, this is going to work so freaking well for us. The sun in Virgo interacting with the North Node in Aries, which of course is our soul path, our destiny point. We're interacting in such a way that it's probably not the most desirable interaction that we could have, but we need to take a look at where it is that we feel blocked, where it is that we feel challenged. Now, we've probably been illuminated to the areas of our lives that haven't been working, that are creating a little bit of chaos, that we're sitting in the confusion about. And that North Node in Aries needs us to see where it is that we're still kind of hitting a brick wall. Now, granted, doesn't feel good to kind of focus on the problems, doesn't feel good to focus on where it is that we're not growing, we're not healing, we're not improving, but having that illumination puts us in a beautiful mindset with the sun in Virgo, Mercury still in Virgo, now direct, of course, helps us to see where we have to put a little bit more time, energy, and attention to fix these issues, to grow through these problems, to really see where solutions can now kind of come out of thin air, because of course we do have Mercury now direct. It's a very low and slow process. However, the sun shining a bright light in this Virgo energy just needs us to create order where there's been chaos. So we need to identify the chaos before we can organize it in a better arrangement. The moon in Scorpio going to trine, beautiful interaction with Saturn. Saturn's the Lord of Karma. He's retrograde in Pisces energy, the Scorpio energy, the Pisces energy. They're both water signs. This is what gives us our trine. A trine is a harmonization of energies that helps us make a gentle change, if you will. Now, Saturn, who rules over karma, rules responsibilities, structures, foundations, he is retrograde, reflecting back and really kind of deconstructing, if you will, our belief systems, really kind of seeing where it is that our dreams are being blocked by our fears, where we have a problem initiating new version of self because the old self hasn't dissolved yet because of the belief system that we're still holding. What we get here is a beautiful interaction that's going to provide us with a lot of emotional stability. Yes, 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 we all need a little bit of emotional stability at this point. And what it's doing is it's showing us where it is that we have to have more discipline in our lives. We have to have a little bit more willpower, determination, motivation to build something new. Our new version of self included in that. So we're very down to earth with this particular interaction. We're very strong in our emotional field, very strong in our intuition. We're tapping into a level of common sense and logic that we haven't been able to tap into due to the confusion that we've been sitting in. And a lot of this is showing us where it is that we have to boss up, stop whining, stop crying, stop making excuses, and really kind of be accountable for the action or lack thereof in order to tackle closing the door on the old and initiating and cleaning the slate in order for the new to arrive. This has a lot to do with our karmic responsibilities with this particular choice point in our path. Why choice point, you may ask? Because we're in the equinox energy. If you haven't listened to the ascension forecast for this week, I'm going to recommend you do so. I give a great, big, huge rundown on the cycles of timeline jumps, on karmic contracts, on this whole shift that we're moving into because of the equinox that we are fastly approaching. So this is a different perspective, a grounded approach on what it is that we have to kind of sort through and process, to let go of, do dissolve, in order for the new system, the new structure, the new sense of self, the new roles, responsibility, tasks, chores, commitments, obligations to actually be in alignment for us to move forward and to actually feel like we are well equipped enough to actually take these new situations on. The moon in Scorpio then going to interact with Neptune, who of course is in his place of power in this Pisces energy, also retrograde, really showing us what it is that we have to let go of, what we have to put an end to, what we have to dissolve, especially when it comes to our pain and trauma, our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, realizing that we're not able to align with the higher vibrations of our higher self, of our intuition, of the dreams, of the insight, of the goals, of the vision that we're looking to actually grasp a picture of, let alone try and manifest, because all of this junk, all of these lower vibrations and frequencies that we're holding on to in our belief system is holding us back from aligning with the higher, I'm going to say, vision that we 100% want to get to creating. This particular interaction is going to turn the volume all the way up on our intuition. And again, this is water on water, so it's very cleansing, very transformative, very healing. We are picking up on the subtle energies of not only our environment, but the read between the reality lines of the matrix, if you will. There's a lot going on that we're not able to kind of see or sense with our physical sensory system, but that sixth sense, man, is kicking in high gear with this particular energy, with this particular aspect. I would suspect that this is going to be a refresher, a renewal, if you will, of our intuition, of our vision, of our dream, of our focus, of what it is that we are trying to build towards. I would say that this is a pick me up, dust me off, and put me in a better situation, a better mood, a better attitude type of aspect. Now, it's going to work very well for us because we have the moon in Scorpio energy, sextiling, great interaction. It's a merging of energies with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information communication, how it is that we express ourselves, who is now direct in his place of power in this Virgo energy. Granted, we're still in the post-retrograde shadow period. Yes, the clarity still not coming in as strong as we would like, as fast as we would like, but we're putting the pieces together. Now, our heart space, the moon, our head space, Mercury, they're merging. This is a sextile. This is a merging. This is a cooperation, if you will. And what we're kind of being pushed to do is to gather some information, to do the work, do the research. You have some questions? Let's find those answers. We got to get organized, okay? And we got to focus on the smaller details of the greater, grander problems in which we're overwhelmed with. The Virgo energy helps us to put the tunnel vision on, to focus on what we actually have control over in the here and now, and what we can start actively pursuing in the here and now that will eventually align us with the greater, grander purpose, the greater, grander mission. But we are lacking some information. We are lacking some details. We have many questions that we seek answers to. This is going to be a great energy to do so because, of course, we have the detective hat on with Scorpio energy, and Mercury being in his place of power in this Virgo energy has laser vision on the smallest intricate pattern disruptor that is preventing us from actually moving forward. So this is going to be a great vibration, a great energy for us to sit in. We should be accomplishing a lot as far as the inner realm processing goes between our heart and between our head with this particular aspect. The moon in Scorpio going to semi-square, creating a slight bit of uncomfortability, tension, conflict with the sun in Virgo energy, which is kind of interesting because Virgo energy, Scorpio energy works very well together, but just the way that, they're kind of at opposite spectrums. We have the sun in Virgo at the latter degrees of the Virgo energy. We have the moon kind of fresh in the Scorpio energy. So they're not really kind of seeing eye to eye. They're kind of on opposite spectrums of the really good relationship that they have. Now, any interaction between the moon and the sun is an overlap. The moon is showing us where it is that we're coming from, what it is that we're holding on to, what it is that we're fixated in, especially with Scorpio energy being a fixed water sign. We're fixed in our emotions. The sun shines a bright light on our future, that life force energy, what we have to build in, what we have to embody, what we have to get a grip on. And in Virgo energy, it's our day-to-day life. It's our focus, it's our narrative, it's our habits, it's the way we move throughout our day. Now, a semi-square, again, isn't a huge conflict and tension, but it is enough to kind of make us irritable, a little bit not happy with the circumstances, if you will. What we're left with is the present moment of the here and now. So there is this, I'm going to say, emotional tie to the old framework that our day was consistent of. Old habits, old behaviors, old ways of thinking, old ways of feeling. That is very, past energy. We're trying to let that go. We're trying to process it. We're trying to lighten that vibe. The sun shining a bright light in this Virgo energy needs us to create order. And in this moment, in our emotions, especially getting a grip on why it is that we're holding on to a dead horse to dead weight. So this particular interaction going to leave us in this moment of the present moment, this overlap, and now we get to kind of see very clearly where it is that we're actually blocking our own damn selves by holding on to some of the heavier emotions, the heavier memories, if you will, that are not serving us, haven't served us for a very long time, and therefore keeping us in this holding pattern of moving through our day-to-day, of having a negative narrative, of creating essentially emotional chaos where there doesn't need to be any. So this is kind of like a little bit of a tension and a conflict for us to get a grip and say, okay, well, maybe if I just moved out of my damn way, things would be a lot easier. And spoiler alert, we are the problem. Get out of your own way. Things will be easier. The last thing that we got going on here today is the moon interacting with Neptune again, but this time, not the nicest vibe. So the earlier vibe helped to kind of renew us and inspire us and get us in touch with our intuition and give us a glimpse and a vision and remind us of what it is that we're doing all of this energy, healing, and effort towards. Well, this is going to bring up a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, a lot of insecurity, a lot of confusion. Why? Because we just had an interaction between the moon and the sun. And the moon and the sun are kind of like, okay, going to continue to beat a dead horse. You're going to continue to loop those bad memories. You're going to continue to talk to yourself in that negative ass narrative. Well, guess what? You're only going to continue to going to get what it is that you've already got because you're not willing to change your vibration, your focus, your narrative, your emotions. So it's like we are having that realization, we're sitting in that funk, but as with everything Neptune related, everything becomes overwhelming. We want to run, we want to hide, we want to escape, we want to avoid. We just want to curl up in a ball and live in la la land because la la land doesn't require us to have as much accountability and responsibility as we need to have here in our physical realm and reality if we want to change, if we want to transform, if we want a different situation, circumstance, and outcome. So yes, this is going to bring on all kinds of feels. This is water on water. And in order to cleanse, you have to feel dirty. And in order to heal, you have to feel broken. And in order to rise in the vibrations of light, of information, of love, you have to sit in the darkness of the funk, of the hate, of the discontentment. So yes, this is going to bring on a little bit of a deep dive in the darker parts of our emotional field. But again, we have to sit there. We have to feel it. We have to kind of let those feelings wash over us, good, bad, or otherwise, in order for a major change, a major transformation to actually come out of it.